The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
And once again, it's the Daily Read, people, and I want to thank you for joining me on this Friday. Now, usually my show is on a Sunday, but I want to my mother, she's having a birthday. She's 67. Master Sergeant, retired Mary Williams, and we're gonna have a bash for her. We're gonna have a birthday party for her. So I'm gonna miss Sunday. So I decided to do this show early. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I got 3 live feeds going, and and I want to thank the people on BOGO for allowing me to get on and giving me an opportunity to broadcast on their platform also. But I'm pressed for time. I got 1 hour to get this out. Okay. Some of you who follow my show on YouTube and iHeartRadio. Now, you guys know that I had an experience with a narcissist about a year ago. And once I found out she was a narcissist, I started experimenting on this woman. Okay. Now, she came back. This is straight out of the handbook, people. Narcissism 101. This is straight out the handbook. They always come back. If they feel like they got their hooks in you as a narcissist, they always come back. Now, I took my notes back in 2019 all the way until the time I got rid of her because I did an experiment on her. But when she came back, I said, okay, I'm going to start my experiment back up. I'm going to feed into whatever craziness she talking about. I'm going to feed into it. And I'm going to hear what she got to say because she called me from a unknown number and I answered it. And she struck up a conversation, asked me to unblock her from all, my social media and my phones and stuff. So I said, okay. Cool. How the second experiment ended, people. I want y'all to hear this now. The second experiment ended. The guy she's with, she's about to discard. Now, if anybody watches my show, I try to bring some real live stuff to my audience. Anybody that watches my show. Now, the guy called me, and I can hear the narcissists in the background. I'm not going to say their names out of respect of privacy. But I got to give you a quick disclaimer before I continue on, okay? This is for legal purposes. I am not a psychiatrist, but I have been studying narcissism for all my truck drivers out there that watch my show. I have been studying narcissism for about 1.5 years. I mean, I've been going over textbooks. I've been Googling it. I've been getting encyclopedias. I'm talking about I've been full because once I ran across this, I didn't know what it was because when you out in the streets and you hustling and you out here, banging out in the streets, narcissists stay away from you. Narcissists choose their victims by the possibility will this person hurt me. And you got to understand when you out in the streets, you see people how they move sideways and you stay away from them or you do something to them. So narcissists know how to pick their victims. And you are a victim. If you ever come across a narcissist and you get in a relationship with them or you become a friend of a narcissist, you are a victim. Whether you're their friend, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, whatever, you're a victim. So when I first ran across this narcissist, I didn't know what she was because I never experienced this. I've come off the streets. I don't hang out in the streets no more. I'm a working man now. So when I met her, she's seeing I'm a working man. She didn't understand who she was dealing with, because Back in the day, she catch me 15 years ago. Anybody can get it. So now, once I found out and started researching how she was moving and what this person was, I started experimenting with this person because I'm doing my show and I want to bring some live, real stuff, real world experiences to the people out here. You know what I'm saying? And for all of you guys that's tuning in, you are live on my show, okay? The Daily Read with Marcus Gentry. Check me out on YouTube. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and tune in to my show every Sunday or Monday. You can catch me on iHeartRadio. And for my people on Facebook, the same thing. If you catch me on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and follow my show. But back to the thing at hand. Okay. When the guy called me, I can hear the narcissist in the background screaming and hollering at him about going through her phone. She was about to get rid of this guy. This is a trait of a narcissist. They will love bomb you. They will discard you, move on to somebody else or another group of people. Then they'll call you back a year later, 2 years later, 6 months later, 2 weeks later, and try to weasel their way in back into your life by gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of lying. So she was about to get rid of this guy and try to weasel her way back in my life. But what she don't understand is I got a girlfriend. You can't get back here. You can't come. But see, she didn't know that because I didn't tell her. I'm listening to her on the phone and I'm like, okay, I'm finna experiment on your ass. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm finna experiment on your ass again. But when the guy called me, we had a good grown man conversation, and I could tell he was really hurt by the things he read in the text messages. He was really, I could tell the guy was really hurt. You know, I can't do nothing about that. Just like I figured out she was a narcissist, you got to figure it out. That's your problem now. Like we used to say in the streets, don't check me, check your bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no dog in that fight. That's not my business. So anyway, first of all, on the first part of the show, we're going to go back over, like I did in my first show about this narcissist, we're going to go back over what narcissism is. Because I got to bring you up to speed before I tell you the story of what happened. Okay? There's some key terminologies of narcissism. All right? Key terminologies. If a person cheats on you, that doesn't make them a narcissist. They can really love you and get mad and have an argument with you and go to a bar and fool around with somebody. Okay, they cheated on you. That doesn't make them a narcissist. Now, a narcissist has 10 traits of a narcissist. They have to have at least 5 or more of these traits in order to be considered a narcissist. A person can have ideals of grandiosity. That doesn't make them a narcissist. That just means they have a high ego. Okay? So people need to understand that. Just because a person goes around talking about, I'm the best in the world, I'm the best of everything, that doesn't make them a narcissist. They have to have at least 5 or more traits of the 10 traits to be a narcissist. Okay. Remember this, people, now, because later on when I start telling you the story about how this all went down, it's going to mess some of y'all up, because some of y'all people that's viewing my show, is going to start thinking like, wow, I know somebody like that. When I started giving you all the details of what a narcissist is, it's going to mess you up. So now, first one. Now, these are my notes. These are my notes that I took as I was experimenting on this woman for 7 months. Okay. The first, grandiosity. Grandiosity is they have this I'm better than everybody attitude. Now, like I said, a person can have 1 or 2 of these traits. That doesn't make them a narcissist. That means they're just an asshole. Okay? Understand that. This woman has a God complex. Like she's just the bomb. And she ain't really cut like that. Okay? I mean, she's cute, but she's not cut like that. Number 2. They have variable self-esteem issues. Okay? They very easily to get wounded if you tell them, look, man, you ain't like that. They're going to a narcissistic rage. You know, so you got to be careful how you treat these people, because they'll get mad if you bust their bubble and tell them, hey man, you ain't cut like that. You know, so that's number 2. Of variable self-esteem issues. They can have real low self-esteem, so they try to make themselves more into what they actually are. Number 3, reactions to perceived threats. How they react. Okay. This woman would react strange, like she became a model. And when she became a model, one of her cousins is a model too. And she asked me one day, she said, what you think about the show when we was all walking on the walkway? I said, okay, it was good, but you know, the only professional model I saw here was your cousin. She came out, man, and she looked like she could be on the runway. She got mad and went off and told me that her cousin had herpes. I mean, it was crazy. I'm like, what? I'm like, what did that? It messed me up. I'm like, where did this come from? Why did you even tell me that? You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So, number 4, self-enhancing interpersonal behavior. Okay. Self-enhancing interpersonal behavior is when they feel like they can go and do just anything instead of being based in reality. Like, she told me one day, I want to go to France. Baby, will you take me to France? You don't even have a job. You can't even buy a sack of weed. You asking me for $10 to go buy a sack of weed. You talking about going to France? Are you crazy? And then you got a felony. You know, they live in a reality that's not grounded. It's not grounded. Number 5, expecting unreasonable and unwarranted rights. She feel like she deserves this or she deserves that. You know, they have this complex where, you know, I deserve to be treated this way. I deserve to have this. I deserve to have that. You ain't even work for none of that. Ain't trying to work for none of that. Number 6, avoiding reality and surrounding themselves with people who are, they're enlisting people who are going to bolster their narcissism. Like when she became a model, she surrounded herself with people that trained her to be a model, that always, you're beautiful, you're the best, you know, stand up straight, walk straight, you know. And these people don't understand that the whole time she became a model and introduced me to these people, I was already experimenting on her. And I already knew that she's surrounding herself with other people because a lot of models, artists, musicians, comedians, actors, a lot of these people are narcissists. They love the fact that people adore them. They get off on this stuff. It's like a drug to these people. So the aggressiveness. Now, aggressiveness in a narcissist, this is number 7. Aggressiveness in a narcissist is mostly for the men. Women can be aggressive narcissists, but it's mostly men. That's why narcissists are very dangerous. Because if a woman finds out she's dating a narcissist and she busts his bubble and tell him, man, you a narcissist, you need to stop acting like that, he can go into a fit of rage and try to do something to that woman. Now, this is the reason why I ended this last experiment on this lady. The reason why I ended it is because I knew when he called me, I can hear her in the background begging him not to go on her phone. He looked at all the text messages between me and her, and he didn't know and she didn't know that I was experimenting on her. She was about to leave this guy. I'm talking about she was flat out telling me she's ready to move, she's ready to do this, and I don't have no man right now. And then he called me out the blue, like, hey man, and I can hear it in his voice. He was hurt, like he's really in love with this woman. So I'm gonna tell y'all about all of that later on. I gotta get this out the way because you gotta have an understanding of how these narcissists move out here. These people are like snakes, they sidewinders. Number 8, perfection. They have this this way about wanting to perfect everything. Like one day she cooked some ribs and she cooked some macaroni. The macaroni cheese didn't clump. It was still clumped up a little bit. And instead of her adding a little milk and stirring the pot more, she took the whole pot and just dumped it in the trash. This is crazy. So they have a perfection complex. Impaired empathic ability. Narcissists don't look at you as a human being. Narcissists look at you as a commodity. You're a supply. They have to have people to adore them. That's why once the love making, the love bomb is over with, usually couples fall into a routine. After the first time they meet, they lovey-dovey for a while, and then after a few months, the relationship turns into a routine. They get up, go to work, come back home, eat together, have sex, watch a movie, go to sleep, and do it all over again. Narcissists will get bored with that. Normal people understand that this is normal life and this is how two people who love each other come up in life. Narcissists, once the first initial love bombing is over with and you start falling into a routine with your narcissistic lover, that person will get bored and disappear on you. They will up and leave, disappear. They have no empathy whatsoever about your feelings on that. These people look at you as a commodity to get their drug. Their drug is adoration. I want to thank y'all for joining in. I want to thank y'all for joining in on BOGO. This is my first time on BOGO, so thank you guys for joining me for the Daily Read. And like I said, catch me on YouTube, catch me on iHeartRadio. Hit that like, subscribe button, and tune in. Number 10, attention seeking. Narcissists are very big attention seekers. You don't realize how many times they will tell you, you're not showing me enough attention. It's crazy. Like, I work 10 hours a day. I sleep 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day. I can't give you every ounce of my day to attention. You need to get a job. That's what you got to tell these people. Sometimes you got to flat out tell them, hey man, cut that out. Cut it out. Now, I just explained to you about narcissism and what it means and the traits of narcissism. Okay? Like I said, some people think that when somebody cheats, they throw that word around narcissism real easy. That doesn't mean they're a narcissist. Okay? That just means they cheated on you. You might need to get rid of them. I don't know. That's up to you and that person. A narcissist is another thing altogether. I've seen people who will see a narcissist and think that narcissist is a con man or a con woman because, oh man, that girl got game, that guy got game. No, that's not what that is. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Let me give you an example of what I mean. A con man steals $15,000 from you. He's going to walk away, see an orphanage, because he still has empathy, go into that orphanage and see all them hungry kids in there, give the orphanage $5,000 of that $15,000 he stole from you, and walk off into the sunset and never turn back. A narcissist would steal $15,000 from you, go somewhere, see an orphanage, laugh at the dirty kids in there, go tell her friends, man, I seen some dusty kids over there in that orphanage. Don't give the orphanage no money to help the kids. Spend it all on bull. And then call you later on saying, I got robbed. I got robbed. The victim of the narcissist is be like, what? You got robbed? I thought you stole my money. No, I got robbed. I got robbed. These people have mental issues. It's not a mental disability. You can't get disability checks for being a narcissist, but it is a mental disorder. And most of the time, it's brought about by themselves. Because of their past, they might not have had a lot when they was a kid, so now that they're grown, they stick their chest out and say, I'm finna conquer the world. Instead of being based in reality and saying, I'm gonna try my best to get what I need in this world and come up in life. Their mind state is on a whole nother level. The only person that can successfully date a narcissist or marry a narcissist is another narcissist. And the reason why is because they cancel each other. Look at Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Prime examples of two narcissists that have come together. You see, a narcissist will look at the other narcissist and be like, I look good with her. Get what I just said. He didn't say his wife looked good. He says, I look good with her. She says, I'm famous because of him. So those narcissists can have a decent relationship because neither one of them care nothing about each other. But if a normal person who's grounded in reality, if a normal person who's grounded in reality dates a narcissist, all hell's going to break loose. Because one of them cares for the other one, and the narcissist doesn't care at all about this person. She's more concerned, or he is more concerned about them. Like, it's about me. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So now But I'm finna get to my commercial break, and when I come back, I'm gonna tell you the story how all this went down. These are 4 words I need you guys to really pay attention to and understand, because it's gonna come back later on when I start telling the story about what happened. It's gonna be an amazing story. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make this stuff up. The love bomb. Remember that word, love bomb or sex bomb. The love bomb is when a narcissist sex you up, comes into your life, she sees a victim, oh, he looks good. Okay. They come into your life, sex you up, give you head, have sex with you. It might last a month straight. Every time you turn around, they're trying to give you sex. When they get you hooked, and then y'all start going into a routine of life, normal life, they get bored. So the narcissist starts finding another supply. Supply is what you are. You're not a human being to a narcissist. You're a source of supply of adoration. So now narcissists don't even care about money. They use money just to get fame, because it's all about how they look, how they are perceived. So a narcissist, if they don't have money, as long as people still have respect for them, or always patting them on the back and saying, oh, you're doing a good job, I like you, man, you looking good, they cool with that. They don't even have to have money. But sometimes they go after money because they know money can put them on the next level of adoration. So the love bomb, that's the first word you need to understand. Discard. Discard means getting rid of something. They get rid of you, but they keep strings attached to you by sending you a text every now and then. They done moved on. They sleeping with somebody else. They living with somebody else. They done moved on with their life, but they keep strings attached to you because eventually they're going to get rid of that person too. Okay, gaslighting. Gaslighting is what Donald Trump do. Donald Trump is like one of the world's biggest narcissists. Him and Melania. Remember what I said, people. Narcissists, if they're together, can have a successful relationship. Look at Melania and Donald Trump. He's looking at it like, I look good with this younger woman. She's an older woman, but she's younger than him. Okay. She's looking at it like, I got wealth and power because I'm with Donald Trump. You can already tell now that one of them really care for each other. I can look at people and tell that it don't even make sense. But if you really think about it, these people are narcissists. If either one of them wasn't a narcissist, that whole relationship probably would have been ended a long time ago. So now, these are the 4 words you need to understand and really pay attention to. Love bomb, discard, gaslighting, and supply. So when we get back off this commercial break, I'm going to go into the story of what happened. And it is too funny, people. You're not going to believe. I can't make this stuff up.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Me and Bae gon' always be tight, though you not with me every single day and night. Even when they start to acting like a fool, yeah, they loving every single thing you do. You know that they can always be themselves. They love each other more than anybody else. And every day as you see them on YouTube, you know there's not one, it'll always be just two. Too stupid Emily, too stupid Emily, too stupid family. They'll make you scream. It makes me wanna sing. It's a family thing, the family. Too stupid family, too stupid family. They'll push your buttons. It makes me wanna cry. It's a family thing, the family. Too stupid family.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All people with narcissistic personality disorder are obviously narcissistic, okay? Not all people who are narcissistic may have narcissistic personality disorder. So it's a fine point, but it's an important point since everybody's throwing this word around these days, right? You know, it's not, unlike other diagnoses that have different meaning to them. This is like a character assassination, right? So when we talk about narcissistic personality disorder, there's a long list of patterns, and they have to have 5 of the 9 on that list.
Yes.
It has to be something we call pervasive, meaning it cuts across situations with a variety of people, at work, at home. It's not just like they're narcissistic to only you and they're nice to everyone in the world. It tends to be pervasive. But here's the rub. It has to involve what we call social and occupational impairment and subjective distress.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Me and Bay gon' always be tight. Though you not with me every single day and night. Even when they start to acting like a fool, yeah, they love it every single thing you do. You know that they can always be themselves. They love each other more than anybody else. And every day as you see them on YouTube, you know that's not going to always be the truth. Too stupid Emily, too stupid Emily, too stupid Emily. They'll make you scream. It makes me wanna sing. The family, too stupid family, too baby. They'll push your mind. It makes me wanna cry. The family, too stupid family.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, and welcome back to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. This is why my show is taking off, people. I am one of the hottest shows in Middle Tennessee as far as podcasting and the surrounding area. I keep it live, I keep it real with you people. I don't play no games on my show. Everything I bring it to you right now today is real. It just happened like a week ago. First, I'm gonna get to the history of the last show, because I got to give some of my new listeners an update on how it all came about that I started experimenting on this woman. Okay. I met this, I'm not going to say no names out of respect of their privacy. Okay. I'm giving this out for informational purposes and educational purposes because people need to understand how this works. Okay. I moved up here to Nashville about 10 years ago. I met this woman, she braided my hair, and we exchanged numbers after I paid her, and we started dating for about 3 months. After 3 months, I went by her sister's house to pick her up and take her out. Her sister said she don't live here no more. I don't know where she at. The girl disappeared. At the time, I didn't know she was a narcissist because I didn't know what that was. Like I told you in the first part of the show, if she would have caught me 15 years ago, trying to pull crazy stunts, me and her would have had it. We would have had it out. Okay? So I didn't know the woman was a narcissist. I'm like, damn. So I called her. My phone number went straight to voicemail. She just totally disappeared on me. After 3 months of sleeping around together, she just disappeared. So now, I'm curious, like, what the hell going on? I left it alone and moved on. 3 years later, people, because I've been knowing this woman 7 years. I didn't know she was a narcissist. 3 years later, okay, 3 years later, she called me out of nowhere. She must have been searching my social media, my Facebook or something. She called me out of nowhere and said she was homeless and she needed a ride to get over her sister's house. I was like, what? It messed me up, people. I'm like, you called me out the blue and dropped something like that on me? I said, damn, I ain't seen you in years. How you doing? She was like, I'm doing good. I just need a ride. So I got my notes right here, people. I got my notes. I told you I did a real live experiment on this woman that psychologists would want to look at these notes and be like, man, that's crazy. But back to my story. So I picked the woman up. I didn't know at the time until later on when I talked to this guy that she had love bombed. Remember that word I told you about earlier? Love bomb. She had love bombed this guy, was being with him for a year. And she decided while he was at work, she was going to pack up her clothes and disappear on him. She was using me as an accomplice. I didn't know she was doing that until later on, like a year later, I found out when I talked to the guy. But what happened was I picked her up in front of Family Dollar in the town she was at, about 20 miles from where I stay at. She ran and threw her bags in the back of my car and jumped in the front seat. She said, "Come on, let's go." So I pulled off and took her over her sister's house. Back over her same sister house that she disappeared on me the last time. She said, "Thank you." She said, "I ain't got no gas money." I'm straight. I'm straight in life. I didn't really need no gas money, right? So I went back home. I didn't hear from this woman for another week. Whatever happened at her sister's house, she must have burnt her bridges. So she called me and said, "Baby, I want to come home with you. I miss you, and I want to start our relationship back again." Remember what I said, people, gaslighting. Remember those key words. They love bomb you. They discard you, get rid of you. Then they gaslight you to get back in your life. And when they get back in your life, the whole cycle starts all over again. These are key elements of a narcissist. So I said, "You ain't got no place to stay, man. I thought you stayed with your sister." I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So I went over there and picked her up, got all her bags and stuff. She came home. So now, listen to this very carefully, people. She love bombed me for almost 2 months. I'm talking about every time I came home from work, she trying to have sex. I'm talking about in the kitchen, in the bedroom, on the couch, everywhere. Okay, now, the woman wouldn't get a job. And see, me, I'm the type of person, sex is cool, but I can get sex anywhere. There's 11 women in America to every one man. I can get sex anywhere. You need to get a job. Because I'm taking care of 2 people, and now the bills are starting to stack up. Once I told her she needed to get a job, I could see it in her face that her plan was starting to turn. She said, "Uh-oh, it's time for me to go." You could tell. I didn't know she was a narcissist still, but I can tell it kind of offended her that I was telling her she needed to find a job. So now, this is live, people. This is real stuff. This really happened. So now, she introduced me to this woman out of nowhere. I didn't never met this woman before in my life. This is one of her homegirls. She asked me could she go to Michigan on an all-girls trip. I said, I've dated women that go to I had a girlfriend that went to Louisiana with her girlfriends. They taking selfies down in Louisiana for Mardi Gras. Okay, I'm used to that. Okay, yeah, you want to go to Michigan? Cool, I'm cool with that. I said, "You need something?" She like, "Nah." She left all of her clothes at my house. All of her clothes in my house and left with this woman. But what really was going on, this woman had hooked her up with another supply. Remember that word, people, supply. Because you're not a human being to these people. Okay? Remember that. The woman hooked her up with this dope boy, drug dealer. For those of you who don't know what dope boy is, because I got a lot of white people on here too that ain't been in the streets. But she hooked her up with this dope boy, this drug dealer. And 3 days went by. She was supposed to come back home. She didn't come. I called her. Same thing that happened the first time when I first met her. My phone went to voicemail. So I said, okay, a week went by. 2 weeks went by. I packed up all of her stuff and dropped it off on her mother's front porch. 2 hours later, the woman called me. She called me. She said, "Why you drop my stuff off at my mother's house? I was coming back home." Gaslighting. I said, "Look, man, I don't know who you think you playing with, but I'm not the one." She don't know my past. You know what I'm saying? She just met me really because, like I said, we was together 3 months, then she disappeared. So she really didn't really know me like that. She don't know how I was 15, 20 years ago. I get at you. You know what I'm saying? So now she tried to gaslight me and say, I was just feeling depressed because I lost a baby around this time of the year and I wanted to be somewhere else besides bringing the drama to your house. I said, whatever, man. Look, see, when people gaslight you, they try to find excuses that they know you can't contest. There's no man in his right mind is going to contest that. If a woman tell you I lost a baby and I'm depressed, it's hard for a man to say, man, stop lying. I have no proof that she did, but at the same time, she could have lost the baby. I don't know. So now, I'm stuck in a situation where she's trying to gaslight me, and I'm knowing she's gaslighting me, but I can't really contest that. You see what I'm saying? So now I started doing my research. That's why I got my little book right here. When I found out the traits of a narcissist, I started putting two and two together. I said, man, this is crazy. I've never experienced this before. I've never seen nothing like this, because like I said, narcissists pick their victims, and you are a victim if you ever come across these people. So I said, you know what? I'm finna do an experiment on this woman. This is back in 2019. I called her up. I said, baby, don't you want to come home? She said, yeah, come pick me up. I went over there and picked her up at her sister's house, brought her back home. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting, people. Now, like I was saying, people, brought her back home. I started experimenting on it because I've learned tricks and techniques on how to deal with people like this. The first thing I did was go gray rock. Gray rock is a technique that you use on a narcissist and block them out when they talking to you. It pisses them off. So as she talking to me about something, I don't even remember what she was talking about. I could see it in her eyes. She was like, you're not paying attention to me. I really wasn't, because I went gray rock on her. So then I tried another technique. It's called denial of sex. I started denying her sex. She started noticing that. See, once you find out what these people are, you know how to contest it. The love was gone. Now, I'm the type of person, I'm going to get you back. Because you got me the first time when we dated for 3 months and you disappeared for 3 years. I didn't know what you was. You came back in my life. And then you disappeared for a month or two. And then you tried to come back in my life because the dope boy that she was dating got arrested. She didn't think I knew that. I got my ear to the streets too. So the drug dealer she was dating got arrested, and now she don't have no place to stay. So now she's trying to gaslight me and get back over here. So now I'm treating her any kind of way. I mean, I'm being straight disrespectful. And the woman that she brought over here, she lost her business too. I'm talking about lost it all. So now she really don't have any other choice but to come back here. It was crazy. So now I'm doing all kinds of crazy techniques that I've learned how to combat narcissism. My family kept telling me, man, why you keep messing with that girl? I couldn't tell my family what I was doing, man, because I know they would try to talk me out of it. My homeboy, JT, I love JT to death, my Masonic brother. JT said, man, I've been hearing some things about you, man. You got this old crazy girl, man, you messing with. I said, man, brother, I already know what's going on. I didn't tell him. I got the book right here. I'm experimenting on this lady. I got to the point where I wouldn't even have sex with her for a whole week at a time. And just watch her reaction. She started moping around the house, smoking weed every day. And then I started telling her, man, look, you need to go get a job. So she started saying, man, why you treat me like a kid? Why you treat me like, I said, man, look, hey, you got to work. You can't stay here for free. Somebody got to pay these bills. It was crazy. So now, I had to end it. The first experiment I did on her, I had to end it because I started putting cameras up in my house because somebody was bringing her marijuana to my house. The girl didn't have a job. She didn't have transportation. So how in the hell is she smoking weed every day? And when you come from the streets, you already know, people. When you come from the streets, there's only 2 or 3 ways that you can buy drugs. 1, you can pay for it. 2, you can rob somebody for it. Or 3, you can have sex for it. She was getting this marijuana some kind of way. She was smoking at least 2 blunts a day in my house. So that means when I'm at work, somebody's bringing this weed to my house. So when I tried to put my cameras up, she spotted it. And she confronted me about it. I said, man, look, you know what? I'm done with this anyway, man. I've been playing with you for a long time. I don't even want to be with you. You need to get your shit and get out my house. Just like that. I told her just like that. So at first, she tried to have sex with me. That didn't work because I wasn't even interested. It was crazy. So then she fell out on the floor and started crying. That didn't work. I don't care about the crocodile tears. You got to get up out of here. So then she called her sister up. Her sister came over here and she started trying to be violent. So I'm the type of person, my mother raised me decent. I'm not going to beat you up as a woman unless you try to kill me. And then I'm going to get on your head. But if you just acting crazy, I'm going to call police on you. Man, come get her up out of here. I called the police on her. So she left. Now, narcissists, y'all got to remember this. They hate when somebody break up with them. This is the worst thing you could do to narcissists. This messes up their whole... It messes up everything. It pisses them off. So now when I broke up with her, she went and bought a car. All on Facebook. Showing off her keys. She got a new car. But she lying. She's gaslighting. Whoever the dude she done got her hooks in, he bought her that car. I'm talking about literally 2 weeks after me and her broke up, she's riding around in a used new car. It was funny. So I'm sitting back laughing like she done got somebody. It ain't my business no more. She ain't in my life no more. I done did my experiment. It's over with. So now I done moved on. And I'm gonna tell anybody out here that has experienced a narcissist, the best way when you break up with a narcissist or a narcissist or man or woman leaves you is to jump right back into another relationship. The reason why is because I've been studying this stuff for a year and a half. Narcissists can be like a drug. The toxic relationship of a narcissist can be like a drug. And if they break up with you and leave you, it leaves you with this, how the woman described it. She said it's a sense of coming down off a high. Because the relationship was so toxic that you coming down off a high when that person leaves you. So the best defense against a narcissist when they dump you is to move on quickly. Because what that does is it makes you occupy your time dealing with somebody else and loving on somebody else. It gets rid of all of those negative emotions that came with the anger you feel of this woman leaving you. Or man. Because narcissism could be out in both women and men. So now, I gave you that update on my first experiment. The first part of the show, I talked about narcissism, period. This part of the show, I talked about the last experiment and everything that led up to me experimenting on this woman. Because I've been knowing her for about 7 years. Okay? Now, on the last part of the show, I'm going to tell you about the recent experiment I did on this woman because like the book says, people, when you look up narcissism, they will tell you in the book, Narcissism 101, they will come back. It took her a year. The first time she came back, it took her 3 years when she called me out the blue. This time, it took her 1 year. And so when we get back off this commercial break, I'm gonna tell you guys what happened on this time because the guy she's with now, he must have felt like something was finna happen. He must have knew something was finna happen because he went through her phone. He must have felt it in his heart that the girl was finna leave him. And he went through her phone and then he called me. So I'm going to tell y'all this. This is some crazy stuff, people. It's off the chain. We'll be back.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
We think of history as something that's in the past and forget that we are making it.
Josh Hawley.
Oh, Josh.
You had it all. You were on track for a bright career.
So much potential.
A leader in American politics.
Building a legacy.
You went to the right schools.
Stanford,
You
Yale.
built your connections.
On your way up.
Won your seat.
A winner.
It had all come together.
You didn't learn a thing.
But then
Sedition.
you made a choice.
Wrong choice.
A choice to stand against America.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, people, we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Now, like I said on the first part of the show, I talked about narcissism and the traits of a narcissist. Everybody that cheats on you is not a narcissist, people. We just want to get that straight and understood. Everybody that moves sideways and try to move slick is not a narcissist. Narcissists have specific traits, and you have to have 5 or more of these 10 traits. And this woman that I was dealing with had at least 8 of them. At least 8, if not the whole 10. I mean, it was crazy. Once I started researching this stuff, because I've been researching this stuff about since 2019, when I first found out she was a narcissist. Because like I said, I've dealt with this woman 2 times before. And I've been knowing her almost 7 years, but I didn't know what I was dealing with, because I never knew something like this was plausible. But it is. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And once you start learning how to spot this stuff, I'm talking about every narcissist you run across. I got an uncle that's a narcissist. I'm talking about a serious narcissist. And I never knew what he was. I thought he was just slow. But he's a narcissist. This stuff is self-inflicted. They have these grandiosity that they is the is the shit. It's funny. So now, on this last part of the show, I'm gonna go into what happened recently. I come home from work, I take a shower, I come upstairs to my office. My girlfriend's laying on my bed. Okay. My girlfriend's laying on my bed. This right here. Okay. I get a phone call from a number that I don't know. I answered it. It was the narcissist. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to say the man's name they call me. I'm not going to say her name. I have to protect their privacy. So now, my mind is turning. I'm like, okay, she came back. After I done kicked her out, she came back. I got up and I closed my door because I didn't want my girlfriend to hear the conversation I was having with the narcissist. Because I'm planning on, because see, you got to understand, some of y'all is going to try to take sympathy on this person. This person has no love or no sympathy for nobody but herself. I'm telling you people, that's how narcissists are. If anybody thinks Donald Trump has sympathy for the people that stormed the Capitol, you crazy. That's what I mean when I say narcissists don't pity these people. Some of y'all right now is probably thinking, man, he wrong for what he did to that girl. Nah, trust me, people. They foul people. So now, I'm finna get into what happened. She called me on the phone. I got up, closed the door to my office, because my girlfriend downstairs laying on the bed watching TV. I talked to her for about 2 or 3 minutes because I didn't want her to come upstairs and catch me talking to another woman on the phone. I said, man, look, I'm busy right now. Call me tomorrow at about 9 in the morning. She said, okay. She said, why don't you unblock my phone? Because I block everything. She can't even contact me on Facebook, internet, anything. She can't see none of my posts, right? Because I blocked on everything and I blocked her numbers. So I said, all right. I unblocked her phone number. So I get to work, and for the next 2 or 3 weeks, she's texting me talking about how she's ready to get back with me and get married and this and that. Now the whole time I'm knowing she got somebody who she's about to dispatch. She's about to get rid of this guy, because I know how narcissists move, because I've been studying this stuff for a year and a half. Whoever she's dealing with, wherever she's living at, she's about to get rid of this guy, or she's about to leave him. This is what they do. So she's gaslighting me, thinking that I'm down with it. But I'm gaslighting her because I know she's involved with somebody, but she telling me she's not. So now she gaslighting me, I'm gaslighting her for a whole month. Then I say, so when can I? So one day I turned sexually on her. I said, so when can I come up there and spend the weekend with you? I tested her. I experimented with her. I tested her. She got quiet on the phone because she know I can't come up there and stay with her for no 2 days because she got somebody up there. She's trying to dish this guy. It's crazy. So now I said, what's wrong? She said, how about for Valentine's Day I get a hotel for us? I said, cool, you paying? She said, yeah. She didn't. She thought I was gonna pay. I'm not wasting no funds on you, nothing, cause it ain't no love here like that. So, plus I got a girlfriend. I was gonna stand her up anyway. My girlfriend ain't gonna let me go down there no Valentine's Day to no hotel room. It ain't gonna happen. I was gonna stand her ass up anyway. So now, Valentine's Day come around. I don't hear from the narcissist. She disappeared. Then we had a snowstorm up here in Nashville. Everybody was locked in their house for almost a week. Didn't go to work, nothing. I didn't hear from the narcissist. I didn't call her neither, because I don't call her. All of a sudden, right after the snowstorm ended, I got a call from a strange phone number, but I was busy. I couldn't answer it. Then I got a call from her number. I picked up the phone. I said, what's up? I can hear the narcissist in the background screaming at this guy to get out of her phone. I can hear the guy on the phone saying, hey man, I can hear it in his voice. He sounded like he was about to cry. I mean, he read all the text messages that I was sending this woman and she was sending me. And he sounded like he was about to cry. It was crazy. So she yelling in the background, get off my phone. Don't be calling him. Don't be calling nobody on my phone. So I'm thinking in my mind, she's trying to get me to hang up and call me later on. She was going to call me later on. I said, nah, I'm finna expose this narcissist right here. I said, what's up, man? What's going on? He said, I just read some disturbing text messages, man. Is she planning on moving in with you? I said, what? I said, nah, she can't move in over here. I got a girlfriend. So I can hear her screaming in the background, talking junk, talking smack. So the man said, well, I'm kind of upset, man. I said, man, look, I tell you what, man. Ask her who she want to be with. I already knew she was going to say she want to be with him, because if she said she want to be with me, she can't come here. He was going to kick her out. So she told him on the phone, I want to be with you. I won't call him no more. I promise you I won't call him no more. I was laughing, right? It was crazy. So I said, okay, you heard what she said, man. She want to be with you. So if you give me your number, if she call my phone again, I'll call you and let you know your gal calling my phone. And I hung up. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is crazy, people. The reason why I had to end that is because narcissists are dangerous people. That man could have easily shot her and killed her for doing that to him while I was on the phone. He could have killed himself, because his emotional state right now, I understand it, because I've been through it with that woman. The first time I dated her for 3 months and she disappeared on me, I felt like, damn, what did I do? Then I moved on. 3 years go by. She came back in my life. Then disappeared for 2 months, talking about she's going on a girls trip. And then she gaslighted herself back by saying she lost a baby. And I just was depressed and I wanted to go stay with my girlfriend for a little while. The whole scenario that she was telling me sounded like her and that girl cooked something up. You know, it was crazy. So I know what he was going through, and I can hear it in his voice. He was hurt. Like, bruh, what's going on between you and her? I'm like, man, ain't nothing going on between me and her. He said, but I'm reading these text messages. I'm like, man, look, I don't know what to tell you. She can't come here. She can't come here because I'm done with her. You know, that's your problem. So understand this, people. You got to know how to look for this stuff. These people are out here moving amongst us. They are like okay, the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. A psychopath is a crazy person that you can see coming. They talking to themselves. They throwing rocks at cars, jumping out in the middle of the road. They acting crazy. That's a psychopath. A sociopath is the type of person who you don't know they crazy. They go to work every day. They smile. They hang out with their friends. And when the police go to their house, they got bodies buried in the basement. That's a sociopath. Narcissists are like sociopaths. They blend in with the society. And when you're dealing with the black community, in the black community, we think people like that are the coolest thing because they out here getting people. Those people are not con men. They got a mental disorder. They don't understand the proper way of going about relationships in life. They don't understand. They can't comprehend it. You see, a con man and a con woman, like I said at the beginning of the show, still have some kind of morals about them. They might rob from you. They might get you for a couple of $1,000. But at the end of the day, they have love for somebody in their life. A narcissist is the opposite. They have no empathy. This woman laid in my house for almost 6 months. Didn't care how much I was struggling on my bills and refused to get a job. And when she did get a job, she would get a job that wouldn't pay her nothing just so she could smoke a weed because they didn't piss test her. And then she would quit after working a week or two. She'd quit. You know, make up some excuse. They don't like me there. And then lay around the house for another month. It was crazy. They don't care about your feelings, your economics, your fun. They don't care about nothing in your life. Everything revolves around them. The sad thing about this is, this woman has a group of women that she introduced me to. I forgot to tell y'all about this story. They models. She got up with these women, and 2 of the models are her cousin. They're her cousins. These women don't realize that when I first met them, they didn't know that me and the woman that I was with, their cousin, had a history. So I was watching all of them. I was watching them. I was watching how they interacted with this narcissist. She didn't care nothing about them models, the people she was running with, her cousins. She didn't care about none of them people. She wanted some people to surround herself with that would bolster her narcissism. You know, to give her that drug she needed. That drug is what you call adoration. If you look up narcissism, it tells you they will always surround themselves with that type of group of people to bolster that adoration. You know, you beautiful. You know, you the best model. You know, you win the trophy. And then when she called me, she started telling me all these things she done accomplished since the year that I done kicked after I kicked her out. You know, I got a car. I said, yeah, it's a nice car. I didn't tell her I know some dude probably bought you that car because you ain't got no money. She said, you know, I got a car and I got a job. I said, I'm proud of you, man. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you working. That's outstanding. And I can feel her smiling through the phone. She was feeding off of this. It was like a drug to this woman. This is some sick stuff, people. And the victim out of all of this is that guy. And the reason why he's the victim in all of this, because she done been exposed in his eyes. But I can tell by the sound of his voice, he's not going to leave that woman alone. But 2 months, she's going to sex bomb him and love bomb him for about a month straight to get him to forget all about this. Then she gonna start searching for another supply because she knows she can't come back here. She already know that. So she might not call. She might take her 4 or 5 years to call me back, but I guarantee you she might call me back. But it's gonna be 3 or 4 years. Now, it's some funny stuff, people. I hope y'all learned something, man, because I like to bring real stuff to my audience. I like to bring real live stuff, man, because people in the community need to understand how these people move out here. And even if I got to tell you real live stories that I've gone through with this whole narcissism stuff, I'm cool with that because somebody out here is listening. Because I'm on all platforms. Somebody gonna listen, pick up this story, listen, and they're gonna start thinking, damn, am I messing with somebody like this? Is my friend like this? My partner like this? Narcissists don't look at you as a human being. They don't care nothing about you. You're a source of supply for them. You're a supply for their housing. You're a supply for their needs. You're a supply for their adoration. And then once everything goes into a routine, they get bored and they move on to another supply. Always remember that, people. These are some dangerous people. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.